Hey guys, this is Logan Freeman with the Livefree Investors Podcast. I interview investors and business owners who share investment advice so you too can live free. Today, I'm talking with Parker Webb. Parker, in a few sentences, tell us who you are and what you do.
Hey, Logan, thanks for having me on. I'm a real estate investor and developer in Kansas City. Really specialize around being a deal sponsor for multifamily, self-storage, and retail properties.
Awesome. And would you say being an investor, an agent, developer, is there a correlation between all of those? Which hat do you like to wear the most? Because I'm in that same arena a little bit.
Sure. I think it's, for me, I like kind of being the sponsor more than anything, right? I get to go find opportunities that can both make me and my family money and also make our investors money. And I get to control the process. And for me, that's huge because, obviously once you're under contract, really it's up to you to kind of how that thing's going to go. And when you have other people's interests involved, that I've always been frustrated about that. But there's benefits to doing that side as well.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that one thing that I've learned throughout this period of time where, it's April right now, we're kind of going through coronavirus, and I've really seen that when you don't control every aspect of your business, it can really start to give you some anxiety and or just feelings of not having control on your own destiny. And so I would agree with you 100% on that. What's the best thing about being an investor and a business owner?
For me, the best thing about being it's kind of a hybrid. I'm in a business of real estate investment. So for me, the best thing about that is that I get to find an opportunity. I kind of view myself as an opportunity creator, not necessarily a value creator, but I create the opportunity for value to be created. And I get to go find opportunities and then create those opportunities for others. And that is what really kind of gets me going every day.
Yeah, I love that. It's people look at you as, my title is a commercial real estate broker, but really what I do is broker relationships, between those things. And I think that's similar to what you're kind of getting at. So keeping up with the current trends and opportunities can obviously be a challenge. So I'm curious, how do you stay up to date?
So it's interesting because I actually hate the news. I hate reading newspapers. I don't like any of it. I used to be really big into it. Political science was my undergraduate degree, and so I was reading a bunch of news and caring about all the politics. And at a certain point, it just became overwhelming, and it was a distraction from kind of everything going on. So my system is I try to have absolute clarity on who I am and the things that are important to me. I surround myself with people who have similar values, and they act as sort of a filter system. And through them, the things that are critically important come to me. So big pieces of news or information come to me through that group. And then as far as kind of like deal flow goes, I think it's sort of similar, right? It's having absolute clarity on what I want, sharing that with as many people as possible, and then deals get brought to me that fit my criteria.
Yeah. I think we've had a lot of conversations around that, and you have even spoken at Phoebe to that point exactly, is, having absolute clarity, but also telling a lot of folks about what you're doing and what you're trying to accomplish, right? I mean,
Absolutely.
it's important to know where you're trying to go, because if you don't know where you're going, then any map or any road is going to get you there, right? I mean, and so it's really important to have that absolute clarity. I agree with you 100%. So I'm curious though. So for the news, obviously I've tried a few different, I'm going off on a tangent here, but I've tried a few different kind of these emails that kind of bundle up a bunch of stuff and put it in your inbox. I love CoStar News. I do feel like it's pretty politically, neutral. But
Sure.
like, what is your go-to, if it's Morning Brew, or is it the Skim, or do you use any of those?
So I've tried to use some of those in the past, and I don't do it. I mean, frankly, if I'm going to do anything, it's going to be the Kansas City Business Journal, the Wall Street Journal, and then probably things like CoStar News or my inbox, just random articles and whatever that come my way.
Yeah, when you get yourself into a position, stuff starts to, like you said, come to you. And so I don't watch the news. I don't know how many cases of coronavirus we have right now. I have people that tell me though, and that are worried about that. So that's really crucial. And Ryan Holiday talks a lot about taking a negativity fast, or fasting from all of that stuff. And, as I've been down on the farm throughout this whole process, it's like, man, you look out there and you see the green grass and the cows moving around and the water, and you're like, are you sure there's a pandemic going on right now? But it's all about the inputs that you put in, right? So I think that's really important. Okay, so what's the best piece of advice that you have received as an investor and a business owner?
So I think one of the, especially in the real estate business, I read an article a while back that talked about how, this is specifically self-storage, but it said self-storage is the get-rich-slow scheme. And I think that real estate generally kind of falls along those lines, right? And so I think one of the best pieces of advice that I was ever given was given to me by Troy Nash, who's former Kansas City councilman, works at my first job at Newmark of Zimmer. He was mentored by Hugh Zimmer himself. This is a piece of advice that Hugh provided Troy, and it was always better to go after the slow nickel than the quick dollar. I think it's an idea about mindset. It's not chasing that thing that's going to get you, that dopamine boost today. It's that thing, building a long, enduring plan. And frankly, Hugh was all about, building a business that was going to make a lot of people money. It's going to make him money, but also building real estate that would have a long, enduring impact for him and his family for generations to come.
That is a golden nugget right there, man. Thank you for sharing that. This is your opportunity to promote somebody or to call somebody out on the show. And so I'd ask you, what successful investor and or business owner like yourself should be on the Livefree podcast?
So my first mentor in the business, I think would be a great person for you to add on. It's Mark Long at Newmark of Zimmer. He is the current CEO. He took over for the late Hugh Zimmer and Ellen Darling, and is just an incredible person. He's been incredibly impactful in my career. Even after I left to kind of pursue my own strategy, he's been incredibly supportive, and frankly, he's just the kind of person that to have on a podcast like this.
Yeah, well, appreciate that. Would love an introduction to Mark, and we'll send him this episode so you can see how successful you have become yourself. Okay, this is the most important question of the podcast. Parker, are you ready?
I'm ready.
How do you live free?
So I think for me, the idea of living free is kind of, getting out of the rat race, or kind of getting out of sort of the normal expectations of what everybody else has on you. And I think, frankly, I'm pretty simple about this, right? So one, it's about just making sure that my budget and my time is scheduled well, because providing yourself structure gives you more freedom. Mm-hmm. And I think that's part of it. But then the number one thing that I do is that I travel, and I experience the benefits of what I do is by traveling and getting out in nature and hiking Kilimanjaro, hiked in the Himalayas. That's the kind of stuff I do to really experience the world in a way kind of outside of our daily grind.
I love that. And we have done some hiking together as well out in California. So that is spoken like a true business owner and true investor. Thank you, Parker. Hey, guys, this is Logan Freeman with the Livefree Investor Podcast, where investors and business owners share advice so you too can live free. For more insights and ideas on how you can live free, connect and message with myself and Parker Webb on LinkedIn today. Thanks, Parker, for joining us. And until next time, live free.